The day's other headlines start in Washington, where at 35 days, the government shutdown has now tied the record for the longest in U.S. history. That comes after the Senate failed for a 14th time to pass funding earlier today. There is cautious optimism that the standoff could end as soon as this week, with lawmakers talking behind the scenes. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson hinted at those talks today, saying he hopes that some Senate Democrats will vote to reopen the government.
We're going above the heads of the so-called leadership, and we are appealing to the consciences of a handful of people in the Senate who want to do the right thing and just stop the pain for the American people.
Also today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned of mass chaos if the shutdown continues into next week, saying his agency may need to, quote, close certain parts of the airspace. Air traffic controllers are working without pay, and Duffy has said that a large number are calling out sick, making air traffic difficult to manage. President Trump announced tonight that he's nominating Jared Isaacman to be the administrator of NASA. This is the second time Trump has put forward the billionaire businessman for the role. As president-elect, Trump initially pitched Isaacman late last year, but then pulled the nomination in May amid a public falling out with Isaacman's close ally, that's SpaceX boss Elon Musk. Trump instead put Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy in the role on an acting basis. Isaacman will need to be confirmed by the Senate to take up the role at NASA. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the war in Sudan is spiraling out of control after paramilitary forces took control of a vital city in Darfur last week. Speaking in Qatar today, Guterres called for an immediate ceasefire in the two-year conflict. In the meantime, in North Sudan, those who escaped the bloodshed in the city of El Fasher received much-needed medical aid and described the violence they left behind.
Once you leave the gates, the bodies start. Some were killed by thirst, some by exhaustion, some by their injuries, the bleeding. Some were injured by the rockets in Al Fasher. They hurt more than gunshots.
There are reports that the paramilitary rapid support forces killed more than 450 people at a hospital in Al Fasher last week and have also carried out ethnically targeted killings. The RSF has denied carrying out the attacks. The Israeli military says the remains of a hostage who was returned today is that of Itai Chen. He was the last U.S. citizen held by Hamas. The group says his body was found in a suburb of Gaza City. It was then handed over to the Red Cross to be returned to Israel. All told, Hamas has now returned the remains of 21 hostages under terms of the fragile ceasefire deal that took effect last month. We have an update to a story that we brought you last night. In Rome, the man pulled from the rubble hours after a medieval tower partially collapsed has died. Rescuers worked for 11 hours to remove him from the structure, but he succumbed to his injuries at a local hospital. 3 other workers were rescued after the dramatic partial collapse of the structure yesterday. The 13th century Torre dei Conti was undergoing extensive restoration work when 2 parts of it gave way. Officials in the Philippines say at least 26 people are dead after Typhoon Kalmegi flooded the center of the country. The fast-moving storm set off flash floods that piled up cars and trapped residents on rooftops. Kalmegi knocked out power for entire provinces and displaced tens of thousands of people. The storm is the 20th tropical cyclone to hit the Philippines this year. Philippine military officials also say a helicopter crashed today as it was transporting humanitarian aid to affected areas. 6 people aboard were killed. The State Department says it's providing $24 million in emergency aid to Jamaica, Haiti, the Bahamas, and Cuba after Hurricane Melissa. Half of that will go to Jamaica, where the country's Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, said today the storm caused at least $6 billion in damage. That amounts to about 30% of the nation's gross domestic product. Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica last week as a Category 5 storm, killing at least 32 people. Officials there warned that that number could still rise. Wall Street ended lower today amid losses by some big tech companies. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped around 250 points. The Nasdaq took a heavy hit, falling nearly 500 points. The S&P 500 gave back about 80 points. And David Beckham is now officially Sir David Beckham. The soccer legend was knighted today by King Charles III during an investiture ceremony at Windsor Castle. The 50-year-old was recognized for services to his sport and for his charity work. The honor also means that his wife, pop star turned fashion designer Victoria, is now Lady Beckham. After the ceremony, Sir David said that the honor was, without doubt, his proudest moment. Still to come on the NewsHour, a new book investigates President Trump's decade-long effort to politicize the Justice Department. And we examine the life of the highly influential and equally controversial former Vice President Dick Cheney.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein Studio at WETA in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.